Hello everyone, this is part 36 of What If Naruto Had Two Bloodlines, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. You. Hold it. I'm fighting him right now, so you'll have to wait your turn. Sakura, why do you want to fight Naruto? Neji, it's fitting that I fight him now, to see if I am once again able to carry out my shinobi duties. Naruto, you want to test yourself, against me. Neji, of course, after all, you're to blame for nearly ending my career as a shinobi. Naruto, what? How did I do that? Neji, the last attack you used, you hit me with a wave of your chakra that shut down some of my chakra points. You nearly destroyed my entire system. If it weren't for Hinata. Naruto, so wait, I nearly destroyed your ability to use chakra and Hinata fixed it. But then why do you want to fight me? Kiba, is it some kind of grudge? You want revenge? Neji, quite the opposite, I merely want to test if I can return to being a shinobi, by using the one responsible as a punching bag. You. Then it is revenge, why don't you just try using your techniques on a real punching bag instead of my brother? Neji, since he defeated me in the Chunin exams, I figure he would be the perfect way to measure myself, that way I can know how much stronger I have to become. Sakura, if you just started your rehabilitation, it would be best if you gave it some time. Naruto, let's do it. Sakura, Naruto, what are you saying? He just got out of the hospital, so he shouldn't do anything that could make things worse. You. If he fights you, he may end up right back where he started. Shino, except this time. Kiba, it may be permanent. Tenten, Neji, are you sure you want to do this? We don't even know if the procedure worked. Neji, it's worth the risk finding out. Besides, if I can't compete with him, then maybe it's for the best. You. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Naruto, I think he means that he wants to be as strong as me. If that's the case, then I'd be more than happy to fight you. I have to admit though, even though I won our fight, I felt like I still wasn't strong enough, so this'll be a good measure of my abilities too. Neji, very well then, prepare yourself, smiling and taking his gentle fist fighting stance. Anbu was scurrying all over the village searching. They had been ordered to find any trace and locate Neji and Tsunade. When I find Naruto, I'll K him. I thought our cover was blown when the kids said that someone was spying on them, a bald man said as he leapt from tree to tree. Yeah, and if that wasn't the worst of it, the Anbu are running around the village, another guy with shoulder-length black hair said as he and his partner made their way through the forest. There was something weird about those kids, they were pretty high level to be only genins. If that's how the village's genin are, then its top-tier shinobi must be extremely strong. The bald guy said. We have to tell Master Midas about this, hopefully he'll reconsider his plan of taking over the village. Naruto. Wait, we can't fight right now. Neji, what do you mean? Naruto, just now, there were two people spying on us. I couldn't recognize their chakra signatures, so I want to check them out. Stay here and we'll finish this when I get back. Neji, you expect us to stay here while you go off to investigate something you described as unusual. Kiba, if there really is something strange going on, we can't leave it to you to find out. You'd probably mess it up and then we may never find out. You. I warned you, Mutt. Kiba, knock it off. Naruto, well, if you want to tag along, I suppose it's alright, as long as you don't blow our cover, ignoring Kiba's screams as Yuki repeatedly kicked him, below the belt. Naruto, are you done yet, you? Just about. She kicked him one last time before gathering her things and picking up a Kamaru. Naruto, let's go. Oh, but one more thing. The two arrived at their base camp outside the village. They both were wearing dark blue ninja suits with AV in line. Under his long-sleeved top, the bald guy wore nothing, as bare as his head, but had a tattoo of a smoking dragon on his chest. The guy with the black hair, like everyone else in the group, wore the ninja suit with a red undershirt, but his stretched enough to actually cover up to his nose. Once they arrived, they immediately rushed to deliver the discoveries to their master. They told him of the powerful genins they had seen and informed him that the Anbu were also out and about. Midas, you think we should pull out? Fools, why would we do that? We've found valuable treasures all along the forests near this village. The closer we get to it, the more we find. There must be more directly under the village. That is why we will demolish it. A few bugs flew from an area towards the village. They began to gather near a hill where Shino and the others concealed themselves. As they flew around, Shino deciphered the information they collected. They revealed the plans of the strange men that had gathered. Ino, oh no, they're gonna destroy the village. Kiba, what is with our village being a target to everyone that knows about it? Sakura, we have to warn the Hokage. Naruto, right, who wants to volunteer? You. Volunteer. Naruto, yeah, someone tells Grandma Tsunade while the rest of us keep an eye on these guys. If they make a move before anything can be done, then we'll have to stall them. Sakura, I'm surprised that he doesn't just wanna jump out and beat him up. Shino, you're itching to get out there and fight them, aren't you? Naruto casually looks to the side, maybe, but I don't want to jump the gun and risk them doing something desperate. Tenten, he has a point, they may already have what they need in place to take down the village. Naruto, Neji, can you use your Byakugan and check for any bombs, traps, or anything that may give them a reason to think that they can take the village? Neji, I'll try. Neji closed his eyes and tried to focus his chakra, if it was even flowing. Neji, I can't, I'm having trouble activating my Byakugan. Naruto, sorry Neji, then what about you Shino? Do you think you can use your bugs too? Neji, no, I would like to give it another try, I don't want to give up just yet. I don't want you to give up on me yet. Naruto nodded to show he approved. Neji tried again, trying to focus his chakra as best he could. Naruto, come on Neji, I know you can do it. I'm sure Hinata fixed you right up. Neji, Hinata, Byakugan. Neji activated his Byakugan and looked around the enemy camp. He looked high and low for any signs of anything that could be potentially dangerous. Naruto, so, what do you see? Neji, there are a few explosives. Tenten, real explosives. They're planning on using that to take the village. Naruto, maybe, but they said that they had been searching all over the place and discovering treasures. They may have been using the explosives for that. We shouldn't jump to any conclusions and alarm everyone for something like that. Sakura, wow, Naruto is using his head. Tenten, so, what kind of treasure could they be looking for? Neji, I think I found it. In the tent in the center, there are a few chests with what appears to be gold nuggets in them. Kiba, gold. Neji, wait, there's something else that they're bringing from the back. It appears to be a very large cage. Kiba, what would they need with a cage? A bunch of men lugged a giant wooden cage to the center of the camp. What the? Ino, that's definitely one big cage. Sakura, but what's the point of it? Shino, maybe there's some wild beast inside. Naruto, is there something in there? Neji, there's nothing inside. Akamaru began to bark at Kiba. He was trying to tell him something. Kiba, what's that boy? Guys, Akamaru says that there's a strong scent of blood coming from that cage. He hasn't smelled so much blood since Gaara. Naruto, Gaara. If it's something as bad as Gaara was, then we have to come up with a plan to stop them, but first we need someone to warn Grandma Tsunade. No one seemed to volunteer fast enough, so Naruto took it upon himself to appoint someone. Naruto, you, go tell Grandma what we found out. No response, well. Look of shock and disbelief, I think he was talking to you, dog boy. Naruto, stop fooling around Yuki. This is important. Sigh, fine, but what are you gonna do? Naruto, we're gonna make sure that they don't make a move on the village. You say that you're just gonna watch them, but if I know you, you're gonna pick a fight. I'll do this, but don't start without me. She left to warn Tsunade as quick as she could. As she did, the group noticed the leader was getting on top of the cage. He was about to speak. Naruto, Shino, I'm on it. Shino's bugs reported back that the leader wanted to check the village once more for the best way to hide the explosives in the village. With them in place, they would be free to ransack the village with very little opposition. He appointed the two spies from before to sneak into the village and plant the explosives. They were then to return where they would detonate them. The two immediately headed out. Naruto, Neji, Shino, I need the two of you to trail those two and make sure they don't do anything bad to the village. As a matter of fact, stop them before they get out of the forest and make sure they don't return. Shino, right. Neji, very well. Kiba, wait a minute. Who made you leader? Naruto, if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. Kiba, well, Sakura, he has been having pretty good ideas lately. So far he's made some nice calls. The others agreed. Kiba, well, alright then, what should the rest of us do? Naruto, we'll wait and take out the others. Neji, Shino, get moving. The two left after the two spies, leaving the others to do the rest. They caught up to the spies since they had stopped at the training area to observe the genin again. Neji and Shino witnessed the two transform into Naruto and Neji, the bald as Neji and the other as Naruto, then they were off. Shino and Neji informed the clones to go and support Naruto and the others and continued after the spies. The clones that had been transformed returned to their original form, Naruto, and did as they were told. Kiba, so, what's the plan, oh fearless leader? Naruto, since most of these guys don't have a chakra signature, they must not be real ninjas. We just silently pick 'em off one by one, should be easy enough. Sure enough, the numbers of the camp began to dwindle and no one was the wiser. They stuck to the shadows and took out any and every enemy that got close enough. The two spies had split up to cover more ground, so Neji and Shino did the same. Shino went after the Naruto, while Neji went after the one that took his image. Right before the spies could sneak into the village, they were confronted by Neji and Shino. Yuki had made it to the village, but she couldn't find Tsunade anywhere. She looked everywhere and was ready to give up, but then she ran into Hinata. Hinata, have you seen Grandma Tsunade? Hinata, she went to find Naruto, Yuki. Do you know when she'll be back? Hinata, no, Yuki. Oh man. Hinata, I need you to tell her that the village is gonna be attacked. We came across a bunch of guys with explosives and we found out that they plan on destroying everything. Hinata, an invasion. Yeah, pass it on to Grandma, I have to hurry back. Hinata, wait, Yuki, I wanted to ask you about, what, you and Naruto, did. It was too late, Yuki had already left. She was in a hurry to get back to the group before anything good happened. That's when she saw Naruto. She stopped and watched as he was attacked and subdued by Shino's bugs. You bastard, what are you doing to my brother? She attacked him but he dodged it. Realizing that if this guy beat Naruto, she would have to go all out if she wanted to defeat him, she began removing her clothes, but Shino asked her to stop. Why should I? You attacked my brother and now, you're gonna pay. Shino, you should take a closer look at the guy on the ground. She turned to see that it wasn't her brother but one of the men from the camp. Oh no. Placing her fist to her forehead and blushing, I'm so embarrassed, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Shino, it's fine, no harm done, but we need to get back if we want to help the others. Midas, now, it's time to carry out my plan to get at the treasure under the village. Naruto jumped out of the shadows to confront the leader of this treasure hunt. He looked surprised to see Naruto. Midas, what is a runt like this doing here? Did you get lost, kid? Naruto, no, I'm here to stop you. Midas, stop me. What is one little runt gonna do to stop all of us? Suddenly, right before his eyes, all of his henchmen transformed. He was now surrounded by at least 100 Narutos. Midas, you have got to be kidding me. Out of nowhere Ino and Sakura dropped in with wires and tied the mastermind up. Kiba, well, that was easy enough. Midas laughs, is that what you think? As a shinobi, you should know that you should never underestimate your enemy. In one spin, he freed himself from the wires restraining him and yanked Ino and Sakura towards him. He punched Ino, knocking her off the cage, and kicked Sakura in the gut, causing her to drop to her knees. He bit his thumb and then cycled through some seals which Naruto quickly recognized. Naruto, that's Sakura. Ino, get out of there. The two immediately jumped off the cage and to Naruto's side as Midas slammed his hand onto the cage. Midas, summoning jutsu. Nothing but silence. Ino, huh, nothing happened. Midas, oh, but it did. I just summoned the thing that is going to demolish your entire village. This is your end. Ah. A swarm of bugs attacked him and he fell of the cage. Sakura, those bugs. Naruto, Shino. Behind them on the hill were Shino and Yuki. You guys were supposed to wait until I got back. Naruto and the others looked at the cage and a big glowing red dot flashed from inside. Ino, ah, what is that thing? Midas, haha, spits out bug, it's your destruction, go, chokes on bug, destroy their pitiful village, Deimos. Chokes on more bugs. The door of the cage flew off the hinges and crushed Midas beneath its weight. It was a horrible sight to see as blood splattered everywhere and the sounds of his bones crunching could be heard, but that wasn't Naruto's focus. Inside the cage Naruto couldn't make out the massive creature aside from its red glowing eye as it stayed within the darkness of the cage. After an eerie howl, the creature began to step out. Naruto and the others were shocked at what they saw. The creature looked like a giant oni with a giant club. It had two horns that curved around its pointy ears like a ram and blue-green skin and stood somewhere between 18 and 20 feet tall. It stepped onto the fallen cage door and looked around. It noticed Naruto and the others and made another howl before charging. Kiba, things just had to go from simple to hard as hell. Naruto, run for it. They retreated as the many Naruto clones tried to slow down the creature. It was useless as the Oni just swatted them away like flies. Seeing how the creature effortlessly destroyed clone after clone, Naruto knew that if it made it to the village things would be much worse. Naruto stopped and turned to face the Oni. As he did, chakra began to gather between his hands. As it destroyed the last clone, Naruto released his dragon wave. The creature turned in time to see the blast coming and narrowly avoided it but not without taking damage. The creature rolled across the ground with thunderous force. As it got back up, Naruto could see that the F on its left arm had been singed by his attack. He and the others were surprised that something so big could be so agile. The creature noticed the injury and became enraged. It huffed and puffed and charged again. You, Naruto, get out of there. Sakura and Ino turned to run but noticed that Naruto wasn't. He was standing his ground. He made some more clones and they attacked. The Oni easily disposed of them and turned its attention to Naruto in time to receive a Rasengan to its gut. Naruto's attack began to tear through the creature's skin until his arm had completely penetrated the creature's body. It screamed in agony before looking down at Naruto who couldn't free his arm. In an angry growl it lifted its club into the air. Sakura plus Ino, Naruto. Yuki tried to come to his aid but before she could even take a step, the creature had swung its massive club. With a sickening thud, Naruto was sped from the Oni's body and crashed into the surrounding trees, causing them to collapse. Sakura, Naruto, in a sad tone. Behind her she heard something crash into the ground and turned around to see Yuki taking off her weighted clothing. You bastard, I'll make you pay. She was about to attack but was stopped by a kunai. Neji, stay away from that thing, unless you want to end up as its lunch. Ino, Neji, Shino, so I assume you've dealt with the other spy. Neji, it was tough using my chakra properly at first, but even though I was out of practice I was still too much for my opponent. He and his clothes were smoking. Apparently it had to do with his recent fight. You. Good to know, now stay out of this thing is mine. Neji, taking it on alone would be foolish, there's no way you could win. You. Oh yeah, watch me. Tenten, hold it Yuki. Neji has a point, we should work together to bring down that thing. You. No. Stay out of this, I'll beat this thing on my own. Kiba, don't be stupid. Ino, you'll just end up like Naruto. Sakura, it would be better to take advantage of the numbers we have to overcome this thing, otherwise. You. What about my brother? We can't just leave him like that. Neji, you can tend to him if you like, but we could use all the help we can get. She looked over to where Naruto had crashed through the trees. You. Fine, just don't get in my way. This was Yuki's chance. Without any further interruptions, she would show this beast a thing or two. They readied themselves as the Oni was preoccupied with its bleeding wound. Sakura and Ino pulled out some kunai and shurikens, Tenten grabbed a couple of scrolls, Kiba and Akamaru readied their jutsu, Neji took his fighting stance, and Yuki and Shino waited to attack. Now, Sakura and Ino began throwing their ninja tools as did Tenten. They stuck into the creature but there was no real harm done, other than refocusing the Oni's attention. It rumbled his way to them only to be annoyed by a swarm of bugs. It wildly swatted and thrashed about trying to rid itself of these pests. It squashed some but found others harder to get rid of. In one huge breath it managed to inhale quite a few around its head and proceeded to exhale. A green-colored fog exuded from its mouth and towards the group. They quickly took cover behind trees and rocks. When the coast was clear, the other side of the trees and rocks had been partially melted. Ino, I've heard about bad breath, but this is ridiculous. Everyone's sweat dropped at her choosing now of all times to lay on the comedy. They refocused on the creature who was now using his toxic breath to kill Shino's bugs. Everyone knew of Shino's connection with these bugs and figured that he would be taking this kind of hard. Shino, why is everyone looking at me? We don't have time for this, we have to stop this creature. They all sweat dropped as he showed absolutely no emotion over the death of his little soldier S. A nearby explosion caught their attention. It was Kiba and Akamaru bursting from underneath, knocking the Oni on its butt. It thundered as it fell. Kiba and Akamaru bounced off a tree and planned to continue with their attack. With lightning reflexes, the Oni swung its club and batted him away. After their crash landing, the two laid unconscious. Neji tried to pick up where they left off. With his entire palm, Neji hit the creature in both legs causing it to buckle. He then targeted its heart but was subdued before he could connect. The Oni grabbed him by the head with its massive hand and began applying a little pressure. Though it seemed to only be trying to torment Neji as long as possible, he screamed in agony. The others had to stop this before it went too far. Tenten summoned a big mace from her scroll and attempted to hammer the creature into the ground. With Neji in one hand, it used its club to easily block her attempt. It took in a little air. As it was about to breathe out and melt Tenten, Yuki intervened and pushed her out of the way. In one breath, she began to liquefy. Tenten, Yuki. She looked up and to her surprise, Yuki dispersed in a cloud of smoke. From the side of the Oni a pair of Yukis attacked with a Rasengan. They targeted the creature's arm and forced it to drop Neji. Unfortunately, like Naruto prior, they had become stuck in the creature's hide. It dropped its club and took a hold of both of them and slammed them on top of Neji. It then grabbed all three. Sakura, gasp. Neji, Yuki, Naruto's star shower. To the rescue came the clones from earlier. They set the creature with a barrage of body slams that saved both Yuki and Neji and drove the Oni back. It tried to S them before they could escape but the clones blocked its club with kunai. The weight of the intercepted blow caused the ground to crack beneath them. Wasting no time, Neji and Yuki rolled away to safety and left it up to the clones. Once again the Oni took a deep breath, inhaling an unlucky clone in the process. It exhaled and destroyed the last of the clones and eroded some of its club. Things looked bleak. If help didn't arrive soon, the genin could be next. They prepared to attack once more, but an explosion nearby put a stop to this. Tree bits and pieces began to rain down on them as they, and the Oni, did all they could to keep from being crushed. Once it finally stopped, a mighty hissing roar could be heard. Their attention turned to Naruto, now in dragon form. He and the Oni began to size each other up as they hissed and growled at each other. Taking a few starter strides, Naruto flew at the Oni and said into it. The Oni stumbled back. He made a mighty swing with his club but the dragon dropped to 4 legs to avoid it. The dragon spun in place and with his tail swept the Oni off its feet. The ground rumbled as it fell. Using his tail as a weapon, the dragon continued to pound the Oni while it was down. Having had enough, the Oni grabbed the dragon by the tail and slammed him repeatedly before tossing him into more trees. The dragon sprang back up and began to charge chakra in his mouth. Before he could fire it, however, the Oni was all over him. Using his club, it bashed the dragon on the head repeatedly until he stopped moving. The Oni picked the dragon up by the end and tossed it once again. The dragon crashed into more trees behind Neji and the others. They watched as the trees that had fallen on him began to shift as he returned to his normal form. Naruto. Tears in her eyes. Neji, it's coming. The creature rumbled its way towards the group. Neji, everyone get ready. Sakura Plusino, oh no. Among the group there were many mixed emotions. Some were doubtful that they would survive this ordeal. Others wanted to do everything they could to put a stop to this. And others. Sakura looked to where Naruto had crashed and began to worry about his well-being and whether or not the group would come out of this in peace. Suddenly, Naruto began to shift and pick himself up. Not wanting to see Naruto hurt any further, Sakura became determined to do all she could. She picked up a nearby log and hurled it at the creature. Before it reached it though, it fell from the sky and right onto the creature's foot. It howled in pain. As it began to settle, the group noticed something. A light began to fill the area. They turned around to find that it was coming from Naruto. Ino, what's going on? Kiba, walking up, what's with this golden light? Oh no, that's. Naruto began to slowly pull himself up, growling menacingly as he did. As golden light began to engulf him, Naruto's hair began to shimmer as it turned golden as well. We have to get out of here. Now. Naruto lifted his head as the lumbering creature charged. Everyone jumped out of the way just in time as a beam of golden light blasted past. Naruto, solar flare. It sped through the air and all that could be seen was blinding light. When it SD down, the genin opened their eyes to see Anbu in the area. They appeared to be staring at something, but then again who could tell with those masks on? The genin looked up in the direction they could, possibly, be looking and saw that the creature was still standing, but with a hole in its chest. A small gust of wind finally caused it to topple over, crashing with tremendous force. The genin was surprised that the thing that had caused so much devastation in such a short amount of time had finally been defeated. It was over. Yuki turned to see Naruto in the shadows slowly approaching. Remembering what happened the last time he used this power, she began to fear that things weren't as finished as everyone expected. Naruto. Just, calm down, okay. Everyone turned to see what all the commotion was. Yuki appeared to be pleading with Naruto about something, but they had no idea about what. We're your friends, right? And I'm your precious sister, you have to control yourself. I'm sure that you wouldn't want to hurt us, so. She began to feel uneasy as Naruto began to step forward from the shadows. Naruto, what are you talking about? I feel perfectly fine. As he stepped from the shadows, Yuki got a good look at him. She looked him up and down and paid attention to every possible detail. He had white hair and golden eyes. You're. It's not like last time, you really are, Naruto. Naruto, of course I'm Naruto, who else would I be? You don't understand, the last time you used your power like this, you caused so much destruction, mainly to Orochimaru, but it was still pretty scary. Naruto, there's no way, I would remember doing something like that. But it happened, your hair had black streaks in it, right now you don't, and your eyes were just as black. Naruto, black hair, black eyes, just like that time, thinking back to the first test of the Chunin exams. Your eyes are gold this time however, and you don't have wings sticking out of your back. Naruto was speechless. You have to believe me. I'm not making this up. Tell him Hinata. Hinata had arrived shortly after the Anbu. Like them, a bright golden light streaking through the sky had drawn her attention. Remembering something similar from their encounter with Orochimaru, she had rushed to the scene. There she found the very people she had spent the entire day worry about, Neji, Yuki, and Naruto. After the crisis was averted, the story was reported, the treasure seized, their wounds patched up and moderately healed, and the villains taken away by the Anbu, those still alive, the heroes decided that it was time to call it a day. While Hinata finished up on Naruto, back to his normal state, the others left for home. Tenten, that Naruto's something else, isn't he? I wonder why he didn't use that dragon thing in any of his fights. Neji, he's smarter than anyone gives him credit for. By using that form, he would have just been a bigger target for me to strike. With my speed and agility, it would have been relatively easy for me to close his chakra points. Naruto was resting and thinking of why he didn't think to use his dragon form during the Chunin exams. It would have made things a lot easier. Hinata, Naruto, did you and Yuki, because if you did, I understand, I'm just, a little curious, because. Naruto, thanks a lot Hinata. I feel much better but I haven't eaten all day, I'll see you later. Hinata, huh, but, wait, I have something to ask you. He had left with Yuki right behind him. The two proceeded to Ichiraku's to get something to eat. As they sat down to eat, Naruto noticed a familiar presence. Naruto, what do you want? Tsunade bursted into Naruto's room and immediately set the bed into pieces. Seeing that Naruto was nowhere to be found, she stormed off in search for him. Jiraiya, I'm glad to see that you have that wild spirit I had hoped you did, but this is one girl you shouldn't be messing with. I can't believe that you took advantage of her affections for you and… Naruto, what are you talking about? Jiraiya, Shizune said she walked in on you and her. Naruto, nothing happened. It was all a misunderstanding. What is everyone getting so worked up about? Jiraiya, nothing happened. Naruto, Yuki told me that she snuck into my room and took off all my clothes while I was asleep. Jiraiya, she did, and they call me the pervert. Naruto, she said that she just wanted to sleep with me but when she thought that I was uncomfortable, she stiesped me. Jiraiya, she's the one that did it all, huh? Oh great, of the two of them, she's the aggressive one. .. If she continues like this, I'm gonna be a great-grandfather before I know it. And what's worse is that I may have to babysit an entire litter of brats, at least if it were Naruto we'd have the chance of ditching, Sigh, okay you two, it looks like I'm gonna have the talk, with you. So listen up because I don't want to have to explain this again, it's uncomfortable enough as it is, takes a deep breath and orders his thoughts, now when a man and a woman love each other, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be love, but anyway, when they have feelings for one another, they… A big crash was heard as the earth began to crumble. Tsunade, Naruto. Tsunade was storming their way and she looked pissed. Jiraiya, wait a minute. Calm down Tsunade. It was all a misunderstanding. She wouldn't hear it. She ran right by him, knocking him out of the way as she did, and went right for Naruto. She threw a vicious right punch that destroyed the ground as Naruto barely avoided it. Naruto, wait. Grandma Tsunade, Grandma Hokage, Lady Hokage, niece Lady Hokage, it was all a misunderstanding. Shizune made a mistake. No, thing, penned, backing away. Seeing that he wasn't getting through to her, Naruto decided it would be best to run for his life and pray that she didn't catch him. He was off in a flash with Tsunade right behind him. As he ran through the village, many things were destroyed as he ducked and dodged like his life, well, yeah. Jiraiya, sigh, that hothead Tsunade, she's got things all mixed up, she ses first and listens last. Shizune, I guess she is going a bit overboard. In the distance, Jiraiya, Yuki, and Shizune could see trees and buildings alike crumbling and toppling over. Shizune, maybe I shouldn't have said anything to her, I mean, they're just now entering their teens and the way I figure it, this might have happened sooner or later. Jiraiya, sigh, you've got things wrong Shizune, they weren't doing that, they were just sleeping. Naruto was because Yuki thought he looked uncomfortable as he slept. She looked at Yuki who gave a big, uncomfortable grin. Shizune, it finally dawned on her, then. Jiraiya, yeah. Shizune, oh no. Lady Tsunade. She ran after them in hopes of getting to Tsunade and explaining things to her before it was too late for Naruto. That will be all for this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos, goodbye.